This week, our amateur farming journey continues, bringing us to a farm owned by our friend and Zimbabwean engineer, Adrian.
Hi, mates.
We decided that before jumping blindly into farming, we should probably learn what we can from those who are already doing it.
The whole idea with the farming here is to try and maximize the space that you have by also ensuring that whatever you put will give you enough return on your investment.
So we spent the day with Adrian, listening as he shared lessons learned as a young farmer.
Come, let me show you. And I just decided, you know what? I'm gonna rip off all the irrigation system which is here, and then I'm gonna start afresh. I needed to invest more into the water. Then I realized, okay, you know what? If I'm gonna do farming properly, I need to do these things properly.
So whilst we're excited to start, we recognize it's equally as important to know what we're doing.
Things are very much achievable.
So are you making money?
Not yet.
Welcome back to the MegabushFamily channel. If this is your first time here, please go ahead and click subscribe.
Do you look up?
Yeah.
Yeah. The one I could represent.
This is my friend Adrian,
Everybody.
one of the guys who encouraged us to start farming. We travel together. He's been here.
So if you've watched our videos before, you'd know Adrian. He's in a couple of our videos where we travel together along with his wife.
So you must know this face. So more than traveling, this is how we get the money to travel.
Try get the money. Try get the money.
Try.
Yeah, try.
Operative word.
Yeah, so where it is plot today is just going to be showing us around, and we're also going to be taking you with us. We've been here before. It's one of the places that really encourage us.
Okay.
Thank you for having us, sir.
So welcome to our place. It's here in, let me just say it's Harare. Basically, it's a place in Glen Forest along Alps Road. Not a big space. It's just about 1.6 hectares. Here, the whole idea with the farming here is to try and maximize the space that you have by also ensuring that whatever you put will give you enough return on your investment. So I think when we first started off here, it was pretty virgin land. There were a lot of trees here. So we had to start with basic bush clearing and clear the whole place. And once the place was cleared, we then had to start with the basic land preparation, things that needed to be done. I think we've been here for the past, let me just say 4 years. It's been 3.5 or 4 years, somewhere there. The master plan that we have for this place was to also have do a fish farming project, right? So there's a pit which is just down there, right, where those acacia trees are. I'll show you. So this is the pit that we're going to put fish in there. So it's 12 by 12 by 1.5 square meters. So it's quite a very reasonably sized pit. So we basically dug up the gravel from there and we backfilled it into the chicken run to cut our costs. And then we ended up having something that we can basically use as a water reservoir or a fish pond. So that's basically it. And then the trees, we left them because we love trees, right? And then, so the space, like I said, is 1.6 hectares. So the whole strategy and the plan on this plot is to have just a couple of different items to be generating income. So the fish pond, for instance, the poultry project also, and then we're going to have a greenhouse sitting on 200 square meters. It's not yet there. And then we're just going to have maybe a packaging plant at the front of the place of the plot when you're getting in, so that when we do our horticultural products, we can then be able to freshly clean them and package them. That's the overall plan. So let me take you to the actual pits of this project, where the headaches are. So, like I said, we started it 3.5 to 4 years ago. So when we started, we basically started doing potatoes. That's what we started doing.
I remember.
Yeah. So we started doing potatoes. When you come across these nice books on the internet and they show you how you do potatoes, and you'll be like, wow, I'm a farmer, me. I'm going to do this. So that's how we started. And then we started doing potatoes. I think when we did potatoes, we only had one bore. Yeah, we drilled a bore. And then when we drill the bore, before you drill a bore, you have to get a permit from Zinwa, depending on the sub-catchment area that you're in. So when you get your permit, you drill a bore, and then you have to basically equip your bore. But what I did not understand or know was that my pumping capacity of the bore had to match up with my water requirements in the field. So that was the first hurdle that I had to face. So there I am, found my just general plumber to come and put drip lines for me. Went to a place called Waverley, got drip lines and everything, got them, came, took my drip lines 120 meters into the field. Come, let's test the drip lines. No water is coming out. And the crop is there. We'd already bought the seed, it has already, the sprouts had come out, it was ready to be planted. Where's the water? There was no water. And then I had to engage another professional to come through. And then they said, okay, we need to do this, do that. It worked, right? And then when that then happened, now we realized that we are not meeting the needs of the plant or the crop in terms of water requirements. So in as much as the drip lines were working, but the water supply was not enough to meet the requirements of the crop.
Right.
So the crop did well because at the time when that happened, it was also just towards rainy season, so it then ended up catching up. But I know for a fact that the first few weeks of the crop we had to struggle because of the water requirements or the demand of the crop. Right.
So you're saying basically if someone's gonna start, water is like,
that's the main thing. That's the invest as much money as you can in water, non-negotiable. So I'm going to tell you the journey of my water. Now I understand it very well. So that's what happened. And then we did the crop. The crop came out very well. We had very big sized potato crops. We used a seed variety called Valar. We bought it from, there's a distributor here called, they're called what? Let me think about it. I was about to say the name of one of their employees. It's called Elite Seeds. They're found in Crow Hill. The Valar was an imported version from South Africa. They say that the yield of that potato variety is about between 50 plus 50 tons. Some farmers have reached 90 tons of potatoes with that variety. So which was pretty good. But when we did it, of course, because we're starting off and everything, I think we did about 15 tons somewhere there. But it was fine. We're fine. We're like, okay,
yeah,
we were paying the school fees. That's okay. But we did about 15 tons with it. And like I can tell you, there were a lot of issues to do with why we got the 15 tons. One of them was that it was basic management, right? I was trying to do farming at the time, and it did not work. So there was things to do with management, water, basic agronomy practices that we were not doing very well. But it was good. We were happy because we saw even the little efforts that we put coming to fruition. So we're okay with that. The next thing that we did were cabbages. Cabbages, we're basically doing them as a crop rotation because potatoes come from a family of plants called Solanaceae. Okay, that. So what happens is that when you do those kind of crops, you have to then change the crop family that you're using. So you cannot choose tomatoes after you put in potatoes. So you need maybe vegetables to supplement that, or cereals, right? So we then put cabbages. But when we put cabbages also, I had not completely resolved my water problem. So cabbages did well, right? But I could still tell that the water problem still existed, right? So I needed to invest more into the water. Then I realized, okay, you know what? If I'm going to do farming properly, I need to do these things properly, right? So I then decided, you know what? I'm going to sit down, go back on the drawing board and try to understand where the problems are and fix those problems. So sit down and I just decided, you know what, I'm going to rip off all the irrigation system which is here, and then I'm going to start afresh.
Wow.
Yes, so that's what happened. So what I then did is I then started digging more into the water. Then I approached a company called Waterite. It's pretty common in Zimbabwe.
Oh, we saw them at Adma.
Yeah. They're just around Harare Drive in Pomona and Alps.
Okay.
Yeah. So I approached Waterite. Thumbs up to the lady called Priscilla from Waterite. She's the one who helped us very well. So she then took us through the whole process of drip irrigation and made us understand it more than the way that we understood it. And then she also took us and helped us understand how crops actually function when it comes to their water requirements. So after that, she then went on a system, went on Google Maps, delineated the place that we are doing our farming, started looking at the gradient of the place, and then said, okay, and started designing drip systems or drip irrigation according to the gradient of the place. So when that happened, then she then say, okay, this place needs your drip lines to go in this direction, so that they can meet the required pressure and the water for the drip line to produce the standard water output. And then she gave us a whole simulation of everything. Then I was like, whoa, what was I doing in the first place? And then after that happened, she then told me, okay, this is the money that you need for you to put this drip system and everything. Then I said, I want the best, just give me the best. And then the best came with me having to take off my leg but yeah.
So what would you suggest then? Because I'm listening to you and it sounds like maybe, like let's say we were to learn from you, right?
Yeah.
We should probably start with that type of thing. What do you think?
Okay.
Or was it worth going through the learning curve?
I would say really, I think it was very necessary for me to understand the effects and the cause, right? I then understood the effects and the cause, but I don't think everybody else has to go through the effects to understand the cause. So I'm sharing this experience for you so that you then understand it, right? Because I know people get into farming and they get burnt and then they never want to get into it again. A lot of people do that. But I would want you to then, if you're going to do it and know that you're going to win. So that's why I'm sharing my experiences with it. Those are the tanks that were put. Let me just show you the drip system which they put. Okay, so they put these tanks here that you see. They requested that the tanks that we need for the plot had to be elevated at about 6 meters above ground. So I had to get tanks that are about 7.5 meters high, and they also had requested that I get 10,000 liter tanks to supplement my water requirements based on the crop that's on the ground, right? So my crop at the time that I was planning this drip irrigation for was potatoes. So for me to put 1.2 hectares of potatoes and feed them with the right amount of water, I needed to have water storage of about 20,000 and still be able to deliver 3.5 bars of pressure. So 20,000 liters was what was the best. But it might not be the best for you. Because remember, I'm saying I was meant to use what? Gravity. Right? Based on the terrain and based on what I have on the ground. But here's something interesting about this drip irrigation system. Come, let me show you. So, right, so this is the output pipe from the tanks itself, right? And when it comes out, it has a breather. The reason why it has a breather is because, you know, when there's air circulation within the pipes, it then affects the water pressure down there. So there's a breather, and then there's a pressure gauge here to show us the pressure here before the water gets into the field. And then there are filters, two heavy duty filters at the bottom there. These filters, the purpose is to clean out the water before it gets into the drip lines, because the drip lines can clog easily if any small particle gets into it. And then there's an output pipe that cleans your filters regularly. You have to clean them regularly to ensure the dirt that has accumulated is out. So this system was non-existent in the first drip system. This comes as part of the drip line system for when they caught.
Them one
Yes.
liter and
They set up the whole thing. And then this is the output pipe into the field. So as it goes out into the field, these tanks were already here when I started. These are the tanks that I used for the first drip irrigation system. You can compare. You can see.
Yeah, no, none of that. Like
Exactly. Yeah.
And you saw a noticeable difference.
Oh yeah. You don't even need to be shown. The same system that you saw from the supply point, there's a valve that opens the water into the field. Then there's a breather. This is a breather. Then there's a gauge. So what happens is that if I want to see if my drip system is working properly, what I do is that I open water there. I come and I open here, right? If I open here, the pressure that I get on the gauge, right, should be between 3 to 5 bars consistently. Then I know that the pressure I want into the field is enough. Remember I said I want 3.5 bars and above. So if I'm getting 3.5 bars and above here, then I'm getting good pressure into the field. Now I can come and I can monitor and say, okay, am I getting good pressure? Yes. I check on my first gauge. I check on this gauge, right? And then I walk into the field. The third way, I walk into the field and check each drip line and say, is the water coming out? Yes. So this field has a capacity of 44,000 plants. So if each plant requires 1.7 mils of 1.7 liters of water a day, let me just give you a rough estimate. So I'm looking at 75,000 liters of water in a day. Now, remember, I'm pumping with solar, right? So in a day, I'm probably getting between 6 hours of good solar, right? I have one bore. I went and I bought my bore somewhere in town where I can just get pump yangu yaka cheaper, $120, right? If I'm getting that pump, $120, and that pump gives me 3,000 liters at most an hour.
So that's 3,000
times 6. That's 18,000 liters in a day. Yet I need what? 75,000.
Right.
Do you understand now why I'm saying that the water?
With a deficit of like what, 52?
50 something thousand liters in a day. By the end of the week, how much water is required? So this way, the serious technical stuff that I was then missing, that I needed to learn from having to go to water right. Overall, right now my pumping capacity is about, I can safely say I can get about close to 20,000 liters an hour. So I'm looking at maybe in a day, effectively, maybe 100,000 liters somewhere there, depending on the sun availability and everything. If I had electricity, I would be okay, but I'm using solar. As you can see, I have solar panels there on top of the chicken run. Those ones are powering a 2.5 kilowatt pump. And then I have solar panels here. They are powering another 1.5 kilowatt pump. Then I have solar panels in the field as well. Yeah. So overall, I think right now I can safely say my solar capacity is about 10 kilowatt solar powering solar panels. One thing about the pumps that I need people to understand is that it's not just a pump that you buy. You just don't buy a bore pump. Whether it's a 7 kilowatt pump, you just don't buy. You need to understand what's called head. You need to understand what's called flow rate, right? So head is how much the bore pump can lift water from the bottom, right? And even push it even a distance. That's what we call head. So you find if you have a bore pump, maybe a bore that's maybe 60 meters, right, in terms of depth. You want a bore pump that can pump 60 meters of that water at a certain flow rate. So the problem with most of the bore pumps that we buy, it will be rated and said, oh, it delivers 5 cubes and it's got a head of 40 meters or 80 meters. But the 5 cubes is being delivered at a head of 10 meters. So overall now the pump becomes inefficient when you put it at 80 meters. Maybe it starts delivering 1.5 cubes of water. And you don't know these things. So now when you buy a pump, you need to look for what is called a pump curve. You need to go and look for a pump curve, and then you look at the head that you're going to be pumping your water from, including the losses, and then you then say, okay, this pump is good for me. So what I then ended up doing is that I had to engage an agronomist. His name is Takunda. Shout out to Takunda. He's the one who helped me with setting up all these new practice. Like I said, there are three major things that you have to focus on. It's your water, your agronomy practices, and your basic management, right? Those are the very important things that you need to have on your farm for it to be very sustainable. So in terms of my agronomy practices, I then had to engage an agronomist. So what he then did, I asked him to do two basic things. I needed him to give me a water or an irrigation schedule for each crop that I was going to put, number one. Number two, then he gives me the agronomy practice schedule. So this agronomy practice then says, okay, I'm going to put this number of plants into the ground. This is the seed variety, and this is the crop I'm putting, what is required. Then it then tells you, okay, for land preparation, you need to then do reaping 70 centimeters into the ground. If you're going to do disking, plowing gauge, your gauge needs to be 50 centimeters into the ground. If you're going to be disc like this or like this, so that you have a fine tilth. When you've done that, your plant, you need to makombako anfana this deep, like your holes where you're putting the crop has to be this deep, right? And how people planting the crop itself, right? And then you need to have fertilizer. Which type of fertilizer are you using? How much is it required per station or per crop of fertilizer? And then it tells you how you're going to put it. So he even goes to the extent of saying then with the irrigation schedule, before you put your crop, irrigate it for 2 hours so that it delivers 3 liters of water at a cropping station. Then put your fertilizer this much into the what? Into the ground. And how he does it is that, so I had to go and buy small cups that are used as measurements for your fertilizers. So you use that to then say, okay, if the fertilizer you need is 5 grams, let me then use that. Because remember, you're working with humans to do this. So if you then say, oh, use your hand, someone may take a handful, someone can just take. So you need a system to control your fertilizer application. So those small cups then help you to correct or to mitigate over fertilization or under fertilization.
Evidence-based farming.
To get an
Optimal yield.
School fees had to be paid for maize. So maize was something that we just said, you know what? We grew up having maize for subsistence. You know, we used to go come in the moms. That's what we used to do, right? We never used to do maize for proper farming, right? So now we then said, okay, we're going to try out maize. So with the maize that we tried out, we were very amazed. It was very good. It was very good. So we did maize. When did we do maize? We planted maize beginning of the year, around February, right? And then we harvested it in April, right?
February.
Yeah, this year.
March, April.
Yeah, it was a 3-month crop. Like I said, the variety is an early maturity. So by end of April, we had the maize. You actually ate the maize.
I know, I remember, and they were good.
Yes. Yeah. So we did the maize, and what we then did is we sold them as green mealies. At Mbari, we just had a truck carry the maize to Mbari. And it did well. At the time, the price of the maize green mealies at Mbari was about $3 per dozen. But you can also sell them even on the street for like $1 for 2. So what you then have to look at is that what is the food that is eaten by almost every Zimbabwean in the country, right? Unlike maybe when you say, okay, I'm gonna do macadamia nuts.
Yeah, macadamia nuts.
How many of Zimbabweans consume macadamia nuts? As compared to maize, every Zimbabwean eats maize. So for us, maize has been one of the best things, but we use maize as a substitute crop for crop rotation. So we do maize, potatoes, and sometimes cabbages, right? For that reason. But our main focus in terms of cropping are potatoes. We
So
love
as our
potatoes.
friend,
Yep,
what do you suggest we start with?
maize.
It's settled.
Yeah. I'll tell you why. Low capital intensive, easy to farm, does not require much. It's not a very attention seeking crop.
It's forgiving.
It's forgiving. Start small, be consistent, understand that when you fail, it's good for you to learn. Right, and then keep on going. I think those are the main things that I can say. If you have $500 and you feel like, okay, I want to do maize, then take the $500 and invest in you understanding maize.
So it's really like going to school and getting a degree,
Yes,
but in farming.
yes. So you have to understand. You need to learn. It's a learning. It's a learning game. Farming is a learning game. If you have to, and you need to get into it for the long run, not for the short term. That's why I said it's not a get rich quick scheme. It's not forex trading. It's not. It's a getting it for the long run, because you have to invest and anticipate to get your returns after a certain time. So give yourself time, give yourself grace to learn, and then when you've done that, you make it. I think you can never go wrong with food. Okay.
What are you professionally?
I'm a Zimbabwean.
No, I said professionally.
Okay, no, I'm a trained mining engineer. So
A
yeah.
mining engineer.
So yeah, but from all that, I think I'm a human being, which is very important. So I think the path is not the same. I think the whole truth is that we have to stick to what we know best and what we want. Not everybody is an entrepreneur in this country.
Yes.
And not everybody is a farmer, and not everybody is a gold miner. So choose what you want to focus on and run with it. It's okay to be a professional, and it's okay to stay in that professional profession. I mean, there's what we call intrapreneurship, which is where you grow within the ranks of an organization. It's also very okay, right? You look at the likes of Ben Magara, the likes of Alex Membere. Those are all intrapreneurs, people that grow within an organization, and they're doing very well, right? And then there are the likes of the person who's holding the phone who said, "Okay, I'm gonna be a business person." It's the journey that you have to choose and say, "This is what I'm taking," and you need to have a calling for it. It's not just okay. Oh yeah, this is where the money is. You get burnt. Ask people that have tried to do gold mining; they'll tell you. You'll get burnt.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks, Adrian.
All right.
At the end of our farm tour with Adrian, we left with so many lessons. We hope you have too. Many young Zimbabweans are doing their part. Farming is a long-term investment best done with strategy, know-how, and professional input. A few videos ago, we told you we're gonna start farming, yet we haven't planted a single seed yet. That's because this process of research for us is a part of the starting. So stay with us on this journey and we'll continue to bring you updates as we go along.